All right, the meeting, the city council meeting is coming to order now. Let's rise for the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As most of you know, there was a tragic accident over the weekend with Carroll lost a young child, and his father was a member of the all-volunteer fire department. And Greg Schreck, the chief of the fire department chief, would like to say a few words.
Yes, the Carroll Volunteer Fire Department family suffered a tragic loss over the weekend. As you know, 6-year-old Caden Spohr was a victim of an apparent drowning Saturday afternoon. Caden is the son of Carroll Volunteer Firefighter Josh Spohr and his wife Kyla. I went to the Spohrs yesterday to visit with them a little bit about the event, and they told me how much and how thoroughly little Caden loved going to the fire station. He would go down there anytime he had the chance. As a matter of fact, they said when they were in a hurry to go somewhere, they would avoid driving by the station because he would want to stop absolutely every time they went past. And I asked what his favorite truck was, and they said Tower 8. And Caden will be laid to rest this Friday, and I assured the family that Tower 8 will be part of the funeral procession for him. So, at this time, and as a sign of respect and a show of support for the loss suffered by the Spohr family, I would ask this group for a moment of silence in remembrance of 6-year-old Caden Spohr. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Greg. I know you have to go. A loss like this is not just to the family, but Carroll is a family when these things happen, and it affects everyone, and it's truly tragic, and we thank you for your kind words.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the consent agenda, which includes approval of minutes of the May 28th meeting, approval of bills and claims, license and permits, including renewal of Class B beer permit, including wine coolers and Sunday sales for Pizza Hut, and the acceptance of a tobacco settlement agreement.
I would move that we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Seaman?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Base?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Fleischner?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Okay, are there any oral requests from the audience tonight, or communications from the audience that are not related to tonight's agenda? Yeah?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. All right, we'll move on. We have a proclamation tonight regarding the National Great Outdoors Month. Whereas spending times in the great outdoors, especially during summer, is an American tradition, and we should all take the opportunity to enjoy the beauty of our natural wonders and protect them for our future generations. And whereas kids today spend an average of 10 hours a day in front of a screen, an outdoor activity is promoted by many leading health organizations as a remedy for the adverse effects caused by our increasing activity. And whereas Iowa's state parks, forests, national parks attract millions of visitors per year and reflect our state's rich natural and cultural history. And now, therefore, I, Jerry Fleischner, Mayor Pro Tem of the City of Carroll, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim June as National Great Outdoor Month and encourage Iowans to escape the outdoors and explore and enjoy Iowa's great outdoors. Okay, we're going to move a few things out of order here just for convenience for Mike, since he's on the telephone. Are you there, Mike?
Yes, I am.
Okay. First, we're going to go to reports, and the first one we'd like to go to is the West Central Iowa Rural Water Association request to provide water service within a 2-mile limit. Mike, is there anything you'd like to say about that?
No, I'll let Randy take the report, please.
Okay. Randy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. The city has received a request from West Central Rural Water Association for service to John Renzi in Grant Township Section 7, which is within the 2-mile limit of the city. Your options regarding this request are outlined in the Iowa State Code. And I would recommend that you consider notification of the Rural Water Association that you would like additional time to study the provision of water service outside of corporate limits.
My understanding, Randy, is that this has more to do with our own due diligence for future water transitions from rural water to the city water that does anything to do with this one instance.
I believe that's correct, yes.
Thank you.
That's the way Mike explained it to me.
That's what I understood as well as.
Anyone else have any questions about this? All right, I'll be looking for a motion to request more time for this.
So moved.
Second. There's a motion and a second. Cots?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Seaman? Yes. Dirks?
Yes.
Base?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, now one more that we're going to move out of line, and that would be under Reports D, Carroll City Hall Furniture, Fixtures, and Equipment Package. And, let's see. That's probably, Mike, would you have your comment on that?
Laura will make that presentation, please.
Yes, yes, I will, thank you. So on June 5th, bids for the furniture, fixtures, and equipment related to the Carroll City Hall project were received, opened, and tabulated. The bid package included 8 parts with 3 alternatives. It is the responsibility that council awards the bids to the lowest responsive bid for each part. A total of 6 bids were received for the various parts, and attached to the memorandum was a summary of all the bids received. Summarized in the memorandum is the lowest responsive bidder per section. Also listed is the vendor who had the lowest bid for each of the different areas. Also attached to the memo was a letter from Opian Architects discussing the opening the recommendation and discussing 2 instances where they recommend the city reject 2 of the bids and go with the second lower bidder. Finally, in the bid, Piggott, did I say that right, Mike? Piggott?
Yes, you did.
Piggott included a separate fee for additional install services of $4,681.21. They had confirmed that this fee is required, and that was based upon if they had received the entire bid, all the parts that they had bid. But based upon the recommendation, it was, they are being awarded, or we're recommending to award them only 4 sections of the total. And so the overall additional install fee they had quoted would be $2,765 instead of the $4,681.21 that they had originally put in there. This item had been added to the section 11 for the Herman Miller line of the bid tab. And in reviewing this fee, it appears that Piggott is still the lowest responsive bid for that section in that area. To date, the City Hall furniture, fixture, and equipment portion of the project, overall budget that we had put together, line item, was $115,425 to $145,800. To date, only $3,882.60 have been spent as part of the project budget for file cabinets that will be installed in the workroom. With the purchases that are being recommended in this memo and the already additional that has been spent, the total for this particular line item in the budget would be $106,364.37. With that, does council have any questions about the bid tab or what the recommendation is? As you can see, there was a few different vendors that had gotten some of the bids. Our local vendor Stone had received a few of the sections. Piggott had received a few. Midwest Storage Solutions, that's basically the off-file storage with the, we call them the roly-poly files.
Any questions for anyone?
Craig, did you have anything you wanted to add with this?
No, I did not. I think you covered it well.
Okay, so,
I'm glad to see some local, Stone's got some of it.
right, that's, whenever we can.
Yeah, I know.
I know we all have that understanding that we'd like to see that happen, and in this case it did. And it's completely under, everyone at the, can you explain, Mike, at the beginning, at the end, everyone knew exactly what they were bidding on, of course, and they were clear, and did the bidder have to change, did they change anything after they found out that the figures were wrong? Or did everybody stand by did they stand by their bids?
Everyone stood by their bids, I mean, as they were submitted, and no one really had an error in the bids. It was more how Piggott in particular presented their
Okay.
bids was a little unusual compared to the other vendors. But once you consider the additional install fee, Piggott was still the low bidder, and that's why we're still recommending that we award the portion of the project that's really the depth portion to Piggott.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? If not, we'll be looking for a motion to approve bids for the Carroll City Hall furniture, fixtures, and equipment, awarding sections 10, 11, 13, and 18 to Piggott of Des Moines in the amount of $82,350.11. Sections 8, 9, 12, and 14, and 15 to Stone's Printing Office Supply of Carroll in the amount of $10,335.14, and $9,796.52 to Midwest Storage Solutions Incorporated of Urbandale.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Seaman?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Base?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Just one administrative note on that, do we need to include a dollar amount for Midwest Storage Solutions?
It is in the.
Oh, I'm
Yep.
sorry, yep, I'm sorry, I just missed it.
It's kind of flipped a little bit.
Yep, no, my bad, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're gonna jump back in the order that we should have started in, and we'll go to ordinances and the Carroll Rec Center, 1 month, 24-hour access fee. And Jack.
Thank you. On February 15th, the rec center went 24 hours in the fitness room. That's the one room they have access to utilize. They can get into the family change rooms with their card. That cost is an annual cost of $120. It can be divided over 12 monthly payments. We have 39 currently. As of last week when I checked with staff, it was 39. Questions consistently is college students back for the summer. People here for a short time, they're living here for a few months, want access to that, and we're able to track is better than what we thought we could. It's been running pretty smooth. We're reviewing film every night, or every morning we get in. We have access, 24 hours a day from my laptop here. If something comes up, I can look at it very quickly. But we do have that element. I think it's probably okay to look at doing a 1 month, 24 hours, as long as the member has a membership, either an adult membership, a family membership, a senior membership for that month. They can add for additional $20, 24 hours. So that would be our recommendation, to move forward, add this element to the fitness passes, membership passes.
So you'd have to have a monthly membership to the rec, then you'd have the ability to purchase for $20 more that month. the
Yes.
24-hour access.
So college students gonna pay $49.
you're fine whatever time of the year that is.
Yeah.
It's not just for college students then.
Yep, it'll be active that day that they purchase it, it'll be good for 30 days.
So our software program can watch,
Yep.
what happens when somebody comes a day afterwards and tries to slide their card?
They won't get in the facility, and we'll know what time they've tried to get in, who it was that tried to get in. And then it'll just be they need to either come in and re-sign up, or if we see it a couple times, we'd probably contact them and say they need to get in to renew. But every night, every morning we get in, we can look from 9 o'clock till 5:30, who was in. We can go to film to see how long they were there. So these are great cameras. They're very, very nice. They do a good job. And we do have in the budget, we're adding some lighting to the outside of the 24-hour door and and also in front of the building. We're adding new lighting. The money's available in July, so we'll get that out here pretty quick.
Hey Jack, just out of curiosity, do you have a mechanism that somebody's in the weight room, for example, it's closing time, so somebody's obviously staying there for a period of time after the official closing? Do you have some mechanism to see, do they actually have 24-hour access to be able to stay?
Yes. Right now, staff should go in and, ma'am, sir, you have 24-hour, Pat, show me your card. So they show the card, then they can stay.
Okay.
And we've instructed all of them, if I would come in at 8 o'clock, to come in the north door and then exit through the north door.
And when someone decides they want this 30-day pass, does it then, can they do that online? Can they sign up for that online?
I don't think it's currently available.
I don't think it's correct. They would need to get in and get the card, and we
Okay.
have those in the main office.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's something that they could pay for, but they'd have to come in and get the card.
You'd have to be open
Yeah.
for them,
Yeah.
okay.
So just so I know how many this might affect, do you have very many monthly people that pay by the month?
39. We have 39 24-hour members, but you're asking
No,
from month to month?
Yeah,
I don't have that number.
is it very many?
Yeah,
It's probably more than I think,
probably
yeah.
more than you think, yeah.
Okay.
I can see someone actually choosing to use that to try it to start,
Yeah.
and then
That's another reason we
Mhm.
wanted to do it.
they're not, and it might actually encourage more people to do this, because they might not wanna commit for a whole year, but just
Yeah.
see how they use it, and then keep going from there, and then re-up for a year the next month.
Yeah.
They could do that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions on this? If not, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the change in ordinance number 1805 that allows the Carroll Rec Center to sell 1-month 24-hour memberships for the rate of $20.
So moved.
Second?
Well, actually, would you like to waive 1, 2, or 3 readings first?
Ordinance. Well,
It's an ordinance, yeah.
Okay. They'll have, whoever makes the motion has to do that.
Yes.
Right. I don't remember who made the motion. Okay. You need to waive any of these? You comfortable with that?
yeah,
Okay.
so we want to waive the 24-hour membership rate?
You want to waive all, well, you're approving the first reading and
Then
waiving the
waive all
second
three
and third.
readings.
Okay,
All right.
okay. So waiving all 3 readings, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so motion and a second to waive all 3 readings. Base?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt. Dirks?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Base?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted.
Thank you.
It gets us every time.
Yeah, beat me up, so.
It catches us, I have the same thing.
Just flow too good.
Yeah. We'll move to resolutions, and the first resolution is water distribution main replacements 2019, and Randy.
Thank you. The plans for the water distribution main replacement have been filed. That project includes segments on,
Randy, would you like to first have them open a public hearing?
it's entirely up to council's discretion, whatever they want to call it.
But typically we do, and then you make your presentation, so.
Okay. Okay, it's, let's see what time it is here. It's 5:35, and we'll open a public hearing on plan specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost.
Sorry, Randy, thank you.
Okay, the plans have been filed for the water main, distribution main replacement project. The project is in two segments. One is on Crawford Street from First Street to Third Street, and that's a replacement of an existing main that is dead-ended. The second segment is on east of Main Street, actually runs from the water tower to Main Street. And that segment is proposed to begin to increase pressures in the northwest part of the city. First step in that increase. The specifications for the project are the SUDAS specifications, as is the form of contract, the SUDAS sample form. Estimated construction cost is $503,680, and that brings the current estimate of project cost to $523,480. There is currently anticipated funding for the project at $500,000. So following receipt of bids, you'll have if they parallel the estimate of cost, you'll have a decision whether to provide additional funding or not proceed with the project. Bids are anticipated to be received June 18th, and with the contract award consideration on June 24th. So unless there are any questions, I recommend your consideration of adopting the plans for the water distribution main replacement project.
Be the point where we have to bring that public meeting to a close.
In any time now, yes. I don't see if there's any comments from the public.
I'm good, thank you,
You're
Frank.
fine, thank you, that's a comment right there, okay. All right, it is 5:37, we'll close the public hearing. And we'll look for a motion to adopt the plan specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost of the water distribution main replacements in the 2019 project.
So moved.
Second. There's a motion and a second. Seaman? Yes. Fleshner?
Yes?
Haley?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Base? Yes. Motion's approved.
Okay, we'll move on to water storage tower rehabilitation, and we will open up a public hearing for this. It's 5:38, and we'll open the public hearing. And Randy.
Thank you. The plans for the water storage tower rehab have also been submitted. They include the installation of a static mixer in the tower, and that is a step toward equalizing chlorine residuals in the distribution system. And as that step is made, the plans also include repainting the inside and outside of the water tower. It's been about 20 years since it's been painted. It's about time, and of course there will be considerable damage to the interior by construction of the static mixer. The specifications for this project are project-specific, actually cover the paint systems and the static mixer. The form of contract is the SUDAS sample form, and the estimated construction cost is $687,500. Based on that, the current project cost estimate is $716,900. Funding for the project in the current and next budget is at $625,000. Once again, following receipt of bids, you'll have the decision, if the bids come in as the estimate is, you'll have the decision to either provide additional funding for the project or not proceed with the project. Again, the bids are expected to be received on June 18th with your consideration on June 24th. Unless there are any questions, I'd ask you to consider adopting the plans specifications, form of contract, and estimate of cost for the water storage tower rehab project.
What was the color of the outside we decided
I don't believe that that decision has been made. The specifications actually are open at this point to be chosen at the time of contract award.
So we can still get some input on that and make that decision on the color at a later date.
Yeah, as the specification is written, that later date would be June 24th.
Thank you.
So that'll be at our next meeting, we should have that.
Yes.
All right, we're still in a public hearing. Anything? Mr. Kaler?
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you very much for your input. All right, at 5:41, we'll close the public hearing. If there's no other comment at this time, we'll be looking for a motion to adopt the plan specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost of the water storage tower rehabilitation 2019 project.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Cots?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Base?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Okay, we'll move on to Carroll Trails Improvements 2019, and I don't believe do we need a public hearing for this as well, or?
No.
I didn't, okay, I didn't think so. And Jack?
Thank you. We opened bids on June 4th, 2019 at 10 o'clock, I believe. And it was about 8 o'clock that morning I got a call that there was an error in the bid documents. The plans were correct. I had a conversation with Mr. Bruner. We decided we would still open the bids and then review them, make some decisions once we open up the bids. So at the time of the bid opening, there were 4 bids. The low bid was Absolute Concrete Construction from Slater, Iowa, for a total bid price of $772,045.66. The base bid again was from Veterans Park North to the first house to the north resident there, across the street, on the golf course, all the way to 30th Street, all off-road, and then the loop, which was about 0.8 of a mile from the west side of the baseball fields, the north side of the baseball fields, to the north side of the soccer complex, east side of the soccer complex, so we would have a loop. So that was the base bid, those 2 trails. The alternate bid was the north trail at the baseball fields, a 6-foot sidewalk back to the restrooms if people need to use the restrooms. We typically keep those open. During the baseball season, we'll keep them open if we feel there's a need, other times of the year. We can keep them open really until the ground freezes and we need to blow out the lines and shut things down. So we can keep those bathrooms open if so desired. So those are the bids. Reviewing with Dave Bruner and staff. First the air. The air was, this project has 66 tons of riprap, rock. In the project, and I have the example down. I think everyone looked at the example on the proposal. 663,000 or 663 on the riprap. 66 tons of riprap on grant total, nothing for the ball fields. So when you go over, if you would add those 2 together, you should have noticed it was 66 ton, but they accidentally typed 663 ton. On that form, the contract or the construction documents, plans, has it correct. So of the 4 bidders, 1 bid 66 ton, and they weren't the low bid. The actual company that did bid, still had the low bid, was, they bid it at 663 ton. Howery out of Rockwell City was the only one that caught it and bid it correctly. So with that, the adjustments were made by the engineer. Laura and I did not do that, but the revised bid, which puts Absolute Concrete Construction, instead of 663 ton, they just did the 66, for the total of $738,016.66. So they still are the low bid. Based on the lowest proposal, approval of architectural fees and amendment that's coming up, the design, the work that we're doing right now. Well, let me go back. Was there any questions with the 4 bids in the air? And Dave reviewed everything. He felt comfortable. Any way you sliced it, they were the low bid. So even with that air, their bid just worked out. That was a low bid. So the design, for them to design the 2 trails and the alternate sidewalk, $89,000. We've been paying on that. You will have a contract. You have another memo about construction services at $25,000. Construction of the $738,016.66 brings the total to $852,016.66. The proposed budget includes anticipated funding for the project from those different sources. That came from Laura. When I talked to her, she gave me those numbers. So the money available is $1,043,391. So there's definitely enough money to do this project. So at first, I guess if there's any additional questions, anything in the documents, we do have the letter from Jennifer Bates, the engineer, recommending the low bid from Absolute Concrete, and then the information so you could see where the error was and where it was correct in some of the other places. I attached the Shive Hattery, how they changed those numbers and got those numbers put in. So, any questions? Okay.
Where does it physically switch from the east side to the west side of Grand Road?
Just south of that first house. It'll go just a little bit north to the end, basically the end of the park, and then cross over.
Alright. So we're not going across any residential?
No, no. And it's up on the berm. It does come around one of the holes, but realistically, the trail is up on top. It's been there. This one's going to be up top. It's not that much, few feet difference. But this is a continuation of your desire to have trails in the community, and you have a nice trail from 18th Street out to the baseball fields with a loop, and bring it back, and then we'll have discussions, and where we go after that at a later date, add ideas, suggestions. And we are, Mike and I both have constantly been in contact with UP to finish the south side. They put one in, but they did not the other. They would have to close both tracks down that day, and they just couldn't do that, so they'll come back. And once they do that, we're ready to move on it and get our guys to finish it.
So when you request it, they offer an explanation, correct, right away, or when they say they can't do it? And
The last conversation I had was a few months ago, was they were in the Mason City, Waterloo area on a project, and they would come down, and they were down here last week, and I walked up to them, and said, "Are you gonna put in the crossings?" He goes, "Well, I can put one in," and my thought was, "Why, if you're here, why don't you put both of them in?" But they can't, it's a big process for them to close that for, a couple hours, so they couldn't do that. But I left messages, haven't received a call back on when they're coming on the south side.
Jack, when they're done with the sidewalk, then will we put a sign in where people exit off the Sauk Rail Trail onto Whitney? It's the paving
Mm-hmm.
down by Goody's.
Yeah.
Will we be putting a sign in there? There's no sign yet. You know what I mean?
No.
You're coming off the trail, you
Oh,
go
down to the
under
very south part.
71, yeah, and you're
Yeah.
heading east. And then we have the link up from the Sauk Rail Trail to Whitney, and there's no signage there, maybe people are familiar from
downtown or
around here.
something.
I don't know, I can't remember
Yeah.
when we were gonna do that. I thought maybe you're waiting for the UP to finish and then
Yeah.
it's all, whatever, up to speed.
Sure, okay, yeah, we can get an idea of
It's
what we
been
wanted
pretty
to say.
wet down there, so it's,
Yeah. Okay.
thank you.
So again, our recommendation would be to award the contract to Absolute Concrete Construction for the total bid price of $738,016.66. If you wouldn't wanna do the alternate, $712,420.53. We do have the money to add the alternate.
All right, I'll be looking for a motion and a second for approval of the resolution to enter into a contract with Absolute Concrete Construction for a total bid price of $738,016.66.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Dirks?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Fleischner?
Yes?
Base? Yes. Haley?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Okay, and Jack, again, on a professional services agreement for the Carroll Trails Improvements 2019.
Sure. This is the additional services with Shad Hattery, since we've entered into the contract to do the construction, to have them do the professional work for us. For the construction, administration, and observation, their price is $25,000 hourly to a max, so the max will be $25,000. So to complete their work, again, the design, construction was $89,000, and construction, administration, and observation would be $25,000 for a total of $114,000.
The $89,000 that we've spent so far, can you give me a little bit of a quick timeline? When did they start on this project?
They would have started last year, November,
It's
December.
been, that's including just what they did, because they did some design work before that, and that's not in this, correct?
They
when they-
did preliminary or
Okay,
sketches.
and that's separate from this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, my thought, I added the $114,000 to the bid price, it was about 15%. I'm guessing that's still standard for engineer work, for the construction cost. Maybe a little bit more, but, so I think that's fair.
All right, any questions or anything more for Jack on this issue? No? All right, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the professional services agreement amendment for the Carroll Trail 2019 project for the additional price of $25,000, making the total architectural services fee $114,000.
So moved. Second?
There's a motion and a second. Base? Yes. Cox?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Fleischner?
Yes?
Dirks?
Yes.
Motion's approved.
Okay, we now move on to a REAP grant application for Graham Park District, project number 2, and Jack?
Thank you. The Grand Park District, we had several meetings on that entire plan, and the one portion, Project 2, involves the restoration of the creek area in Grand Park. This fits exactly what they like to fund. They get a lot of trails, a lot of other projects that, maybe aren't necessarily the best grant. We've gotten one REAP grant for a trail, but I know we've tried several years for the trails. And it is something they fund, but I think this is a more exciting project. I think this will score better on the scoring card for us. Project 2 again, reinforced concrete wall, rip wrap, rebuild outfalls and footings, earthwork, possibly utility adjustments. If you have specific questions on those, I'd refer to Randy, he knows that area better for the utilities. Surfacing, boulder, outcropping, stone terraces, just really, we have that plan program. And this really, the total cost, $129,700. And if we could, we'll apply for $125,000. We do have $75,000 in the budget that we had for additional work. Some of that has been paid out to Shive Hattery for some of the plan, but there's still money available for them to engineer, and, you know, construction costs of $129,000. So I think it's just an exciting project. I think we should apply for it, try. I'd say the most money we would have into it's up to $50,000. So, you like to see that part of the Grand Park master plan done. This is a great avenue to look at.
Do you know approximately when you would hear back on this?
Our meeting will be in July, and I'm on the committee. I'm a reviewer of the grants. I don't get a vote on ours, but usually they'll take it to their board about 6 weeks after we meet in August, so we'll know September, October. So we design over the winter and have a spring, summer construction next year.
So it'd be nice to know this before we run into December with planning.
Yeah, we'll know by December.
When I'm looking at that, the grant amounts that are possible,
Mhm.
be on the first page, 50, 75, 100, and 125.
Yep.
Is that a flat rate? I mean, they don't change that at all? So it's either 125 or nothing? What?
Well, I mean, no, if you have a project that's $80,000, you apply for $80,000. These are one of the few grants that you can apply for 100% of the grant. You don't have to have a match necessarily, but it always helps to have a match. We're gonna show that this is part of a $4 million project with the entire $2 million grant project. So this is just a piece of a big puzzle that we wanna do down there.
Anything else? All right, we'll be looking for a motion to approve to authorize Region 12 Council of Governments to prepare and submit the REAP grant application to the Iowa Department of Natural Resources.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Base?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Jerks?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Okay, and back to reports, we have the US 30 Grant Road Intersection Improvements Change Order number 4, and Randy?
Thank you. Change order number 4 for the US 30 Grant Road project's been prepared to adjust the contract quantities and add liquidated damages to the contract. In the state aid projects like this that are DOT contracts, they require adjustment of the unit quantities in the contract to match the as-built quantities. So this change order includes adjustment of 23 different quantity numbers. Some are increases, some are decreases. The net is a decrease of $1,033.53. Liquidated damages are included in the change order in the amount of $8,000. And that's a combination of 2 components. The first is 4 working days of liquidated damages at $1,000 a day. The second is a lump sum of $4,000 for damages that were made to Grant Road during construction. And due to the way that the DOT's change orders are set up, that entire amount, $8,000, is indicated as 8 days of liquidated damages at $1,000 a day. This change order also adds a half a working day to the contract. So the net effect of this change order is a reduction of the contract cost of $9,033.53 to a contract construction cost of $1,455,565.45. So So unless there are any questions, I'd request your consideration of approval of the change order number 4 to the US 30 Grant Road Improvement Project in the amount of a deduction of $9,033.53.
Randy, is there any other potential change orders coming up on this, or we're pretty well done with it?
This should be it, yes.
All right, with no further discussion? All right, we'll look for a motion and a second to approve change order number 4 to the US 30 Grant Road Intersection Improvements Project in the amount of $9,033.53.
So, negative.
Yeah, a negative $9,333.53.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Dirks?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Haley?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Base?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Okay, and report a bid opening for a 72-inch front mount mower, cab and blower.
Thank you. On June 3rd, 2019, 2 bids were received at the time of the bid opening. Results of the bid, the low bid was Van Wall Equipment, Carroll, John Deere. The new mower, cab and blower, $33,060. The Kubota 3080 cab and blower, 2013 we traded in, they'll give us $10,000 for a total cost $23,060. Both mowers met specifications we're looking for. Been my recommendation to approve the bid from Van Wall Equipment for a total purchase price of $23,060. Bid estimate was $49,000. I don't know, when we were working on that, if we didn't subtract the cab or blower, but we maybe unfortunately missed something. But better that way than the other way, you know. We won't spend it for anything else that I would not anticipate, so, but, sorry.
And that includes a trade-in, you said?
Yes.
Okay. And your estimate before was also still including a trade-in, the higher estimate?
Yeah, the higher estimate, what I believe, and when we were working on this, we thought 49,000 was gonna be the difference. Could buy 2 of them.
Good luck.
Just one.
Jack, I'm just curious, and I know they both met the specs.
Yep,
The one is so much more, almost 9,000 more. Is it, are,
pricing, government pricing.
just their pricing, but very equivalent?
Yes, oh yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
Similar horsepower, same,
Warranty and the whole deal? Okay,
Yes.
thanks.
Anything from our mowing expert today?
Yeah.
No.
No. All right, no further comment? We'll look for an approval of the bid by Van Wall Equipment in the amount of $23,060.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Haley?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Base?
Yes.
Cots?
Yes.
Fleshner?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Okay, all committee reports were available if anyone needed to read those, and I have no comments, any further comments for this evening. And are there any council members that have any comments? All right, and then I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Yes.
There's a motion, and a second.
Yep, Seaman?
Yes.
Dirks? Cots?
Yes.